There are predators that do not need superior speed to spread fear. Venom constricting force or lightning fast attacks are enough to turn a single moment of vulnerability into the end. But the most terrifying thing does not lie in how they hunt, but in what happens after the attack begins. Every encounter can end within only a few seconds or turn into a deadly struggle between predator and prey. Welcome to the world of the rulers of reptiles, where every attack can become one of the most horrifying spectacles in nature. King Cobra versus mangrove snake. The mangrove snake, a reptile living in the coastal forests of Southeast Asia. Their bodies can reach over 2 meters in length, slender and extremely flexible. Large eyes with vertical pupils allow good observation in low-light conditions, turning them into effective nocturnal predators. Unlike constrictors, the mangrove snake possesses mild venom, enough to weaken small prey like birds, lizards, and rodents. But today, there will be no more tiny prey left for it. When facing the mangrove snake, the king cobra shows off the technique of a professional snake hunter with a head-locking bite. This helps instantly destroy the mangrove snake's counterattacking weapon, and more importantly, keeps the scales flowing smoothly. If swallowing backward from the tail, the prey's hard scale layer will create great friction and can cause damage to the predator's esophagus. With a flexible skull structure and dynamic joints, the king cobra begins the swallowing process, while the prey's muscles are still contracting. Thanks to the backward-hooking tooth system and the ability to separate the lower jaw, the predator slowly brings the opponent's entire length into the esophagus, turning the battle into a process of pure energy absorption. In the reptile world, this is a simple but cold survival rule. The stronger will swallow the weaker. King Cobra versus Cobra. In the world of snakes, the king cobra is exactly the greatest terror to its own kind. Even though both possess deadly venom, the king cobra holds an absolute advantage in size and venom resistance. The king cobra expands its flexible jaw structure, step by step maneuvering its sharp tooth rows to bring the prey's body deep into its esophagus. Every rhythmic jaw-walking beat pulls the prey's body into the narrow esophagus. Because cobras are usually a dense protein and low-fat source, a large meal like this can provide enough energy for the king cobra to maintain life for a few weeks to a few months without needing to hunt more. A battle without mercy, where the one bearing the title king affirms its exclusive status by turning its very own kind into an energy source for the next survival phase. Mussurana versus Jararaca. The mussurana, an endemic snake-hunting snake species of South America, can reach over 2 meters in length, with a slender body and flexible muscles. The flexible skull, non-fixed jaw joints allow the mouth to expand significantly, perfectly adapting for swallowing large-sized prey, including other snake species. Especially, they are almost immune to the venom of many other snake species, turning them into a specialized predator in the reptile world. Not relying on venom, the mussurana uses constricting force. The body coils wrap up in precise rhythms, tightly constricting the prey's chest, cutting off the respiratory process. The inward curving teeth keep the prey unable to escape when subdued. The two jaw halves operate independently, pulling the prey deeper bit by bit. A flexible body, a clear strategy, and an outcome almost predetermined right from the start of the encounter. In the natural world, weapons sometimes become useless before the enemy's evolution. On the deserted rock slab, a mussurana, an assassin specializing in hunting its own kind, is facing its favorite prey, the venomous jararaca. The jararaca's venom is inherently a brutal chemical mixture, enough to decompose flesh tissue and collapse the circulatory system of any creature. But before the mussurana, that deadly weapon is completely harmless. Without needing strong venom, the mussurana uses a muscle system with dense muscle fiber density to create a constricting pressure exceeding the opponent's spine endurance limit. Combined with a mild venom amount from the rear fangs to slowly paralyze the victim. Because the venomous jararaca is an extremely high-quality meal and difficult to be defeated by other species, the mussurana occupies an exclusive ecological niche. An adult mussurana can eat dozens of venomous snakes every year, playing an important role in controlling the venomous snake population in Central and South America. Indigo snake versus python. Having just left the eggshell, the young python falls into the crosshairs of the indigo snake. It is not only one of the longest snake species in North America, but also a versatile predator, ready to confront even venomous snake species. Not possessing venom, the indigo snake relies on strong bite force and direct control ability. The teeth pin tight, its head continuously presses down, giving the opponent no chance to turn around and counterattack. The young python makes a desperate effort by coiling its body, trying its best to constrict the enemy's head tight, hoping to find a way to escape. However, all efforts become meaningless before the overwhelming strength of the indigo snake. An extremely strong acid amount begins to be secreted, silently dissolving the defeated one, ending a short and harsh survival cycle. Racer snake versus rattlesnake. On the dry ground, the racer snake executes a close-in approach with a reaction speed of only a few milliseconds, quickly locking the fatal spot right behind the rattlesnake's head tight. Thanks to a biochemical venom resistance mechanism, the hunter calmly neutralizes the opponent's hemotoxic venom. Snake hunting snake species like the king snake or some racer snake lines usually have faster snapping speeds than the rattlesnake. While the rattlesnake takes about 70 milliseconds to launch out, the hunter can execute the snap and lock the target in a shorter time, helping it gain the upper hand. The blood of these snake hunters contains special proteins called phospholipase, AO2 inhibitors. They act as locks, preventing the enzymes in the rattlesnake's venom from destroying blood cells and muscle tissue. This allows the hunter to maintain alertness and strength even when bitten back multiple times by the opponent. King snake versus rattlesnake. Under the sweltering heat radiating from the asphalt road, a brutal confrontation is taking place. The California king snake, an assassin bearing characteristic black and white bands, is making an effort to subdue a highly venomous rattlesnake. However, the hunter has committed a rare mistake. It begins swallowing backward from the tail. The rough scale layer of the victim pierces backward into the esophagus, causing a dramatic stalemate, while the rattlesnake is still frantically struggling to find a way to live. Unable to swallow down in the usual way, the king snake immediately changes tactics. It launches its signature constriction coil blow, using muscular strength to squeeze out every last bit of the opponent's oxygen. Cornered into a dead end, the rattlesnake counterattacks by continuously plunging its pair of venomous fangs into the enemy's body. After a prolonged tug-of-war, the hunter finally managed to lock the target's head tight, completely neutralizing the resistance. King snakes are constriction experts with extremely high efficiency relative to body size. The king snake has a muscle structure with very thick cross-link density. When wrapping around the opponent, they not only suffocate, but also create pressure up to 180 millimeters of mercury. This pressure is large enough to stagnate the rattlesnake's blood circulation flow, causing cardiac arrest and death much faster compared to the way large python species constrict prey. This is a clear testament to the crowning of tactics and adaptability in the face of deadly power.
Venomous snake.
Gaboon viper versus rat. Hiding under the decaying leaf layer of the African forest, the gaboon viper possesses a disruptive camouflage pattern that blurs all outlines. Different from the majority, they move in a straight line, gliding silently using specialized belly scales. The silence conceals a brutal biological weapon, the longest venomous fangs in the world, and the largest capacity venom glands.
They can inject 600 milligrams of...
When attacking, instead of biting and releasing, the gaboon snake holds the prey tight, pumping a giant amount of venom containing hemotoxin and cytotoxin.
but kill.
This venom amount immediately destroys endothelial cells, causing instant cardiovascular collapse. This is truly the ultimate predatory machine. In just a tenth of a second, it launches a thunderous strike. The pair of fangs, up to 5 centimeters long, the largest in the snake world, buries deep into the rat's body. The rat almost collapses immediately as the nervous and circulatory systems are completely destroyed. The gaboon does not swallow in the usual way. Its jaw structure is connected by extremely flexible ligaments, allowing the left and right lower jaw halves to move independently. Its jaws are like walking on the prey's body, step by step, pulling the rat deep into the esophagus. Special salivary glands secrete a large amount of mucus, covering the entire rat's body, turning it into a slippery mass to easily pass through the narrow throat. Python versus chicken.
The python doesn't intend to wait that long.
Possessing a sophisticated visual system, the python senses infrared radiation through heat-sensing pits connected directly to the trigeminal nerve, creating a real-time temperature map right in the optic tectum of the brain.
Called labial blocked onto a living heat source, the snake can time her strike.
When locking onto a target, they do not finish off the prey by crushing bones as mistakenly believed. The giant pressure from the muscle coils obstructs blood circulation, immediately causing cardiogenic shock syndrome and multi-organ failure.
So snake...
The subsequent digestion process is a fierce physiological feat. The python's heart muscle can hypertrophy, increasing 40% in mass in just 48 hours to pump an extremely large amount of blood, meeting a metabolic rate skyrocketing 40 times to completely decompose the prey. A lengthy, long ghost silently sneaks through the crevices of the chicken coop. The python operates with absolute silence. The heat sensors on its lips help it accurately locate the target without needing to see. A thunderous snap locks tight onto the chicken before the victim has time to let out an alarm cry. Immediately, the muscle coils wrap around, besieging the prey. When the chicken's resistance weakens, then fades out completely, the giant begins to execute the most elaborate stage. Mechanical wave steps along the python's body begin to push the food down to the stomach. Now it will rest to begin a long-day digestion cycle, where extremely strong acids will completely dissolve this meal. Water snake versus fish. On the silent lake surface, the water snake operates like a mini submarine. It silently sneaks through the moss canopies, utilizing the flexibility of its body to shorten the distance with the target.
The Danube's fresh water turns what is most unusual.
Water snakes do not swim with fins like fish, but they push their entire body to form S-shaped curves.
What's a result of working? But these snakes
When flexing, the back of each curve will push against the water flow, creating a reactive force pushing the snake forward.
catch a breath on the surface.
When the target is in the crosshairs, a high-speed snap prevents all escape chances of the slippery prey.
But it's been discovered. Seals their victims' fate.
Bringing the fish ashore not only helps the snake avoid competition from other predators, but also creates conditions for the jaws to execute the maximum expansion mechanism to swallow the prey. Death adder versus rat.
This mouse has good senses of its own.
Moving through the dry leaf layer with a short and flat body, the death adder quickly dissolves into the ground background thanks to perfect camouflage patterns.
It picks up the vibrations of the rodent.
For a snake with a short and chubby body like the death adder, an adult rat is an energy treasure. The protein and fat amount from the rat can help the snake maintain life for many weeks, even months, without needing to hunt more.
The death adder has one of the fastest.
In the snake world, the death adder possesses one of the fastest snaps on the planet. Taking less than 0.15 seconds, it pops out of the leaf layer, burying its pair of long fangs into the rat's body. A stream of extremely strong neurotoxic venom is pumped directly, making the prey's respiratory system paralyzed in just a split second. Rattlesnake versus rat. Rattlesnakes are cold-blooded assassins with the ability to locate prey accurately thanks to the infrared heat sensor pit system. Located between the eyes and nostrils of the rattlesnake are two heat pits. Inside contains a thin membrane with thousands of sensitive nerve endings. This system allows the rattlesnake to create a 3D thermal image in its brain. Even when blindfolded, it can still attack accurately into the vital organs of the rat, thanks to the heat stream emitted from the prey's blood vessels. Instead of relying on vision, they silently track heat trails in the dark, turning patience into the deadliest weapon in the wilderness. A lightning-fast snap. Unlike the neurotoxin of cobra snakes, rattlesnake venom is mainly hemotoxin and cytotoxin. It begins to destroy blood vessels, causing severe internal hemorrhaging and immediately decomposing flesh tissues. Boipiva snake versus Kururu toad. Without needing deadly venom to finish off the opponent, its true strength lies in an intrinsic defense system designed to conquer untouchable targets. The moment the fangs lock tight into the warty skin layer of the Kururu toad, a silent battle begins. Right behind the two eyes of the Kururu toad are two large glands called parotoid glands. When threatened, these sacs will squeeze and spray a milky white sap containing bufatoxin. This is an extremely toxic compound, capable of causing hallucinations, vomiting, and most importantly, making the opponent's heart stop beating in just a few minutes. But the throat mucosa layer of the Boipeva has a special cellular structure, acting like an impermeable nylon wrap, preventing bufatoxin from seeping into the blood vessels before it is transferred down to the stomach. Python versus turtle. Despite carrying cold blood, the python is one of the most devoted mothers in nature. It is concentrating all its force on the most important mission: protecting the egg clutch. The maternal instinct at this time is pushed to a climax. Unexpectedly, a sullen, uninvited guest appears loitering right before the nest. Look closely at the cloudy eyes of the mother python. This is the blue eye stage before molting. Falling into a vulnerable state, the mother python becomes doubly sensitive and aggressive to compensate for the vision weakness. Therefore, the loitering of that stranger is like igniting the fuse for anger. Exceeding the endurance limit, a lightning-fast warning snap is launched. This is not a hunting blow, but a stern warning to protect the offspring. Adder baby versus lizard. Under the dense grass canopy, the young viper is struggling with its first life survival lesson. Without the mastery of a seasoned assassin, these are just the clumsy efforts of a rookie. The lizard is an oversized target, a truly arduous test. Immature experience makes the baby snake completely misjudge the prey's size. Even though the quadrate bone structure helps expand the jaws to the maximum, the coordination rhythm of the two jaw sides to pull the food inside is still extremely awkward. It is having to learn how to control each muscle group, a survival skill that must be mastered if it wants to exist. After many efforts, it finally bit onto the lizard's head part. However, how to swallow down that massive body part remains a fully deadlocked puzzle. From these very clumsy and bloody lessons, a new assassin of the grass carpet is gradually being forged. Centipede versus snake. In the arthropod world, centipedes are high-speed predatory assassins with a highly intimidating appearance. Many mistakenly believe centipedes bite with their mouths, but in reality, they attack using a modified pair of legs located on the first body segment. When attacking, the centipede buries its pincers into the prey's body and pumps a toxic mixture of serotonin and paralyzing enzymes. This venom instantly collapses the nervous system of insects and small animals. The encounter between the giant centipede and the snake is not simply about muscular strength, but a complex biochemical puzzle. The giant centipede does not only kill the snake, but also eats right through its scales. With a chitinous armor and venom that directly attacks the cardiovascular system, the centipede is challenging all limits of reptiles, turning the venom bearer into a victim in a multi-legged trap. When a centipede bites, a portion of digestive fluid from the foregut is pushed back up. This mixture contains extremely potent proteolytic enzymes, beginning to turn the snake's muscle tissues and internal organs into a liquid soup before the centipede actually swallows them. This explains why the centipede can eat right through the snake's hard scales. It does not chew in the usual way, but dissolves each part of the opponent's flesh. This is exactly when the hunt turns into a brutal chemical surgery, where the prey is digested right from its last breath. In a survey on snake-eating behavior, centipedes top the list of invertebrates capable of killing snakes most frequently. Especially, the centipede's winning rate increases up to 80% if they attack from behind, or when the snake is in its molting period and has soft skin. Scientists have found an extremely toxic peptide in centipede venom called SSM spooky toxin. This toxin does not attack the nervous system slowly like snake venom, but it blocks the potassium ion channels in the cells. Potassium is a vital element to maintain the heartbeat. When this channel is locked, the snake's heart will stop beating almost immediately. This is the reason the centipede can take down prey many times its own body weight. In nature, size is not everything. Chemical weapons and approach tactics are the deciding factors for survival. Ant versus snake. In the natural world, ants are not simply individual entities, but are considered a superorganism. Their strength lies in their military synergy and extremely tight social structure. Many ant species have the ability to spray formic acid into the opponent's wound. This acid not only causes burns, but also acts as an alarm signal for the entire army. There are about 20 quadrillion ants on Earth. The total weight of all ant species equals or even exceeds the total weight of the entire human race. Because of these characteristics, ants are considered one of the most evolutionarily successful species, present on almost every continent except Antarctica. Despite the giant disparity in size, a solitary soldier ant is diligently carrying out an impossible mission. The ant clamps tightly onto the tip of the snake's tail, its sharp mandibles buried deep, and with all the strength from its 6 tiny legs, it strains to pull. From the ant's perspective, this is not a giant creature, but an endless protein reserve for the whole colony. Ants can pull or carry objects 50 times their own body weight. But if it is a large snake, that weight is beyond the ant's capability. In the ant world, all large prey hunts must take place in a swarm manner. A single ant only has the duty to discover and chemically mark to summon its teammates. It is never programmed to pull a giant prey by itself. Its effort at this moment is merely a mistaken instinctive reflex in a situation without the collective support. Python versus crocodile. A battle between the giants of the wetlands. This is not just a muscular showdown, but also a confrontation between two completely different hunting tactics. The crocodile possesses an extremely hard, bone-covered backskin layer, acting as a suit of armor against bites. Its most terrifying weapon is its bite force. The crocodile has the strongest bite force in the animal kingdom, reaching over 3,700 pounds per square inch in large crocodile species. An adult python can generate a constricting force of about 20 pounds per square inch, enough to stop blood circulation and crush the internal organs of large prey. Although it sounds much weaker compared to the crocodile's bite force, the maximum blood pressure of humans and most mammals is only about 2 to 3 pounds per square inch. Therefore, the python's 20 psi figure is essentially a redundant death sentence. It is nearly 10 times stronger than the pressure needed to stop an animal's circulatory system. When muscular strength confronts the sturdy, horny armor, time seems to stand still in a loop of survival. Cat versus snake. In biology, cats are considered one of the most fearsome nemesis of snake species, thanks to special evolutionary advantages. A cat's reflex is about 7 times faster compared to an average snake. The fast-twitch muscle fibers allow them to dodge blows or launch a swat before the snake's fangs can even touch their skin. The cat utilizes its flexible moving ability to master the situation, continuously launching swats at the opponent's head, causing disorientation for the snake. The fatal bites to the head leave the snake almost helpless against this speedy opponent. In the cat's world, a fleeing one is not worth it spending another second of its concern. Cats do not bite the snake immediately. They use playful toying blows to exhaust the opponent. Continuously forcing the snake to launch hopeless pecks makes it accumulate lactic acid in its muscles very quickly, leading to exhaustion and loss of venom control ability. Snakes are poikilotherms. When the cat forces the snake to exercise at high intensity to peck and dodge, the snake's body temperature skyrockets due to excessive muscle activity. Unlike cats that can release heat through their paw pads and panting, Snakes do not have an efficient cooling mechanism. The combination of lactic acidosis and sudden hyperthermia will paralyze the enzymes in the snake's body, making it fall into a state of heat shock before dying from physical trauma. It looks calm, but the cat's heartbeat while toying with the snake can double or triple. Victory over a cold-blooded species is never free. Snake versus bird. Do not let the brilliant appearance fool you, because this is one of the most cold-blooded assassins of the sky.
Snake often eats the birds, or the bird's eggs at least.
With a hook-shaped beak and an iron will, the gray-headed bush shrike turns the hunt into a haunting execution session. Unlike other bird species that usually swallow whole, this species uses its beak to blind the snake's eyes immediately.
Not the predator.
It has an extremely large biting force concentrated at one point, enough to pierce through the skull or paralyze the central nervous system of small and medium snakes.
Yeah.
It usually jumps around the snake, continuously launching probing pecks at the tail or body to provoke the snake into hopeless pecks.
You can tell from here, it's either, I think it's a boomslang, might be an olive grass snake.
By destroying snake individuals while they are still young, this bird species plays an important role in controlling the local reptile population. Without the need for venom or constriction coils, the gray-headed bush shrike proves that intellect and brutality can subdue even the most terrifying biological weapons. The battle ends, but the terror it leaves behind on the sharp thorns will still haunt the entire desert. Honey badger versus hyena. Do not let the size fool you, because you are facing the one at the top of the blacklist of all predators. The honey badger does not know what fear is, and it does not care who the opponent is either.
And it barks.
From the deadly venom of venomous snakes to the sharp teeth of lions, everything is just spice for its extremely aggressive nature. In its invincible leather armor and iron will, it does not just survive, it dominates with insane stubbornness. The honey badger only weighs about 9 to 16 kilograms. However, it possesses a skin layer up to 6 millimeters thick and extremely loose around the neck, helping it able to twist its body around to attack, even when being bitten. The hyena understands that killing a honey badger is extremely exhausting and has a high risk of injury due to the too thick skin and the badger's aggressiveness. A solitary hyena will usually retreat, but if it is a hyena pack, they can coordinate to flip the honey badger over and attack the soft belly area, the only weak point of this warrior. Facing a bite force that can crush elephant bones is a solitary honey badger, but completely Not finding a way to escape, this dwarf assassin unleashes furious hisses and threatening lunges at the opponent's sensitive areas. Amidst the encirclement, stubbornness has turned the hunted one into a terror. African wild dog versus hyena. African wild dog, the animal with the highest hunting efficiency on the African grasslands, far surpassing even lions and leopards. While lions only succeed about 20 to 30% of the hunts, African wild dogs achieve a success rate of up to 80%. Their archenemy and most terrifying foe is none other than the spotted hyena. But what if it is just a solitary confronting one?
In the heat of the day, mother's a rude awakening, but perhaps also
The wild dog pack, disciplined hunting machines, immediately turns the outsider's curiosity into a public execution. An adult female hyena weighs about 60 to 70 kilograms, but when pregnant, the body's center of gravity changes and the pressure on the skeletal system is very large.
protect both her back and her belly.
Its continuous spinning is a desperate effort to protect the soft belly area, the most vulnerable place, and also the wild dog's priority target. But the situation unexpectedly reverses when the majestic male lion approaches. His dominant aura immediately casts a suffocating pressure on the entire wild dog pack. He ignores the brawl. His destination is just the prey carcass. Nevertheless, that authoritative presence inadvertently relieved the siege, saving the hyena from the death sentence by a hair's breadth. Lion versus hyena. The lion, dubbed the Lord of the Forest, is the only cat species living in prides and possessing biological characteristics, serving an extremely brutal, coordinated hunting style.
They're suffocating.
The lion's bite force reaches about 650 pounds per square inch, though lower than the jaguar or tiger. But the short and wide jaw structure allows them to maintain extremely large compressive force for a long time. The claws, up to 10 centimeters long, sharp as razors, help them cling tight to the thick skin layer of the prey and wrestle down opponents weighing many times their own body weight. The battle between lions and hyenas is not just about competing for food, but a blood feud lasting millions of years, where pack tactics can overthrow even the proudest kings. Under the velvet curtain of the dark desert night, a lion pride is hastily consuming the prize after a hunting effort. However, the blood scent molecules spreading in the wind become an invitation letter calling for death. The silent atmosphere on the dirt mound quickly shatters as a series of cold, reflective gazes gradually reveal themselves, sparking a battle for the throne. Reaching the overwhelming threshold in manpower, the Dark Legion simultaneously surges forward. Possessing a highly evolved palate system and jaw muscle structure with a crushing force of 1,100 pounds per square inch, a brutal bite of theirs is more than enough to break the skeletal frame of the fierce beast. Accidentally stepping into the encirclement, an unfortunate young lioness turns into the scapegoat of the Dark Knight. Every desperate stepping back rhythm pushes the Lord down into the freezing water stream, where all vitality and resistance fade out. The moment the ultimate predator breathes its last breaths, its body instantly transforms into survival energy for the enemy. The cycle closes, brutal but extremely primitive. Topi antelope versus hyena.
Ecosystem defined by the interactions of its inhabitants.
Amidst the vast sea of grass, a silhouette stands towering on a high dirt mound like a living statue. That is the topi, the sentinel of the savanna.
Forelimbs and haunches.
The topi has the habit of standing on termite mounds or high dirt mounds for many hours continuously.
Is highly reflective offspring, which occupies a stable.
This is a strategic position, helping them optimize the 360-degree vision to detect enemies from afar. They are one of the fastest-running antelope species, reaching a maximum speed up to 70 to 80 kilometers per hour. But with rogue hunters, will they wait until the prey is still on guard to risk lunging in? Hyenas are not the best sprinters, so they prioritize approaching sleeping or off-guard prey. The hyena launches a fatal snap, pinning tight into the hamstring of the frantically accelerating antelope. Once losing the springing power of the hind legs, the fastest antelope of the savanna also becomes immobilized and more vulnerable than ever. The hunt is not only a display of physical strength, but also a lesson about grim survival and the effectiveness of tactics. Leopard versus hyena. Unlike lions or tigers, the leopard possesses extremely developed shoulder and leg muscle groups, serving the purpose of climbing. The leopard is the only species capable of dragging a prey weighing twice its own body weight up vertical high tree branches, helping them completely separate the consumption environment from opportunistic scavengers. But that also does not mean hyenas will drop them out of sight. The leopard with a broken leg lies flat amidst the clearing, panting, looking at the hyena encirclement slowly closing in. Catching the scent of injury, the wise beast pack continuously aims attacking blows at the hind limbs to exploit the blind angle. Instead of finishing off right away, hyenas always maintain harassing tactics, utilizing the pressure of numbers to completely exhaust the prey's stamina. Unable to stand firm, the leopard loses the fulcrum to generate pouncing force and the innate self-defense ability of cat species. Fortunately, the survival risk calculation made the beast pack today only stop at the level of a show of force. Antelope versus hyena. The antelope recklessly crosses the swamp area, but the soft mud has eliminated the speed advantage, creating conditions for wild dogs to immediately tighten the encirclement. Nevertheless, the hunters had to step back when the hyena legion utilized the overwhelming number advantage to conduct the prize robbery. The pair of horns at this time becomes a fatal defensive weapon. Thanks to the thrust from the neck muscles, the antelope continuously hooks sideways and rams straight, ready to pierce through the internal organs of the enemy approaching out of rhythm. But the continuous biting and tearing tactic has completely worn down the victim's vitality. The hyena pack drags the prey ashore, ending the slaughter amidst the sunset dust cloud. Pelican. Possessing a giant throat pouch that can hold up to 11 liters of water, pelicans are exactly the most uniquely accurate fishermen of the sky. The pelican's throat pouch can expand extremely wide. Its capacity is actually 3 times larger than its own stomach. Do not let the gentle appearance fool you. The pelican is an extremely terrifying, opportunistic carnivore. When lacking fish, they are ready to swallow chicks of other species, ducklings, or even adult pigeons in just one mouth opening. When the pelican opens its mouth to scoop fish, its lower jaw is not as rigid as we think. It is actually 2 flexible bone strips that can bend and flare outward, turning the pouch under the beak into a giant fish scoop net. In that moment, it can scoop an amount of water weighing equivalent to its own body weight. Like snakes, pelicans always try to turn the fish to swallow the head first. This is extremely important because fish fins often have sharp barbs. If swallowed backward, these fins can pierce or tear its throat pouch and esophagus.
15 minutes. Yeah, I do that.
Falcon versus pigeon. The peregrine falcon is not only the fastest predator on the planet, but also a masterpiece of creation in aerodynamics. Once locking onto the target, they fold their wings and turn into a biological missile, diving down at a terrifying speed of 320 kilometers per hour. Possessing dual vision with 2 fauvum helps them perceive depth. Along with nasal bone tubercles allowing them to slow down the airflow and respire when diving at high speed, the falcon is the inspiration for modern jet engine designs. A predator carrying the speed of death. The falcon can hunt easily on a straight flight path. But the difficulty reveals itself when the prey creates zigzag flight paths, hoping to break the enemy's attacking trajectory. Despite being the fastest predator, its hunts are not always successful. Skua versus penguin. Dubbed the pirate of the sky, the skua does not live by diligence, but lives by the fear of other bird species. With a muscular body and powerful wings, they are not only predators, but also professional muggers, ready to attack even opponents larger than themselves to snatch food. Despite not having a very large size, the skua is ready to attack anything encroaching on its territory, including humans or larger birds of prey. In Antarctica, the skua is the #1 enemy of penguin colonies. Amidst thousands of individuals packed close together, the penguin flock seems to have created an impenetrable living fortress. However, the skua, an opportunistic predator with extremely sharp vision, only needs a single moment of negligence to pierce through that defensive wall. Young penguins are separated from their parents' arms and suffer brutal attacks from the cold-blooded ones. They even drag the prey to deep water to drown it. But luckily, a large penguin quickly saved the tiny creature. The young one escaped and was brought back to its small family. Heron versus gopher. Herons are specialized ambush predators. These are opportunistic birds of prey, highly adaptable to many ecosystems, from underwater environments to grasslands, where they hunt fish, reptiles, and small mammals alike. With a fast attacking mechanism, it utilizes specialized joints in the cervical vertebrae to launch its beak at extremely high velocity. An important adaptation to catch agile prey like snakes in shallow waters. When consuming large or spiky prey, the great blue heron must orient the prey head first before swallowing. This behavior is very important to protect the esophagus. It ensures the spines or scales on the back fold back smoothly, preventing internal organ damage during the swallowing process. Their survival depends on the combination of highly accurate spatial judgment and fast muscle coordination. On the dry grassland, a heron is displaying the ultimate stalking art. Lowering its body center of gravity not only helps it hide from the prey, but also creates absolute balance for every movement step. Their visual structure is designed to catch on to every smallest movement in a low-contrast environment. It walks with absolute silence, completely eliminating friction sound. And when the distance reaches the ideal level, the attack is launched in less than 60 milliseconds. The beak edge with a sharp structure creates an extremely strong clamping force on the neck, directly destroying the central nervous system and making the animal instantly motionless. A too massive meal for the stalking effort just now. When the spear-like beak has hit the target, even if hiding deep underground, the gopher cannot escape the death sentence from the sky. Eagle. Amidst the freezing battlefield where the Lord's crown has been lowered, a brutal feast is taking place. The eagle, the king of the sky, is now standing there, arrogantly possessing the gift of death. However, this throne is not peaceful at all. Around it, the shadows of hungry souls are lurking. Covetous eyes are stalking, waiting for a loophole moment of the powerful one to lunge in and snatch. But on the banquet table of death, the crown does not guarantee fullness. The eagle may be the strongest, but in the battle of hungry stomachs, the most reckless one is exactly the one who can snatch the food right from under the Lord's feet. Where the ice never melts, the red fox is performing a life and death dance on the frozen lake surface. It knows the sounds of the fishermen not only bring food, but also summon ghosts coming from the sky. When the sound of falling fish rings out, it is also when other hunters trample each other scrambling for food, but unfortunately drop the prey below. The red fox is already there, snatching the prey as fast as lightning. But it forgot one rule. In this territory, whoever has a larger wingspan, that one has the right to keep their life. Possessing superlative vision, the martial eagle can lock onto a target from miles away. Every carelessness on the ground must be paid for with an unavoidable punishing blow from the air. The diving speed exceeding 200 kilometers per hour turns the bird into a true bullet. The warthog's weight creates a fierce struggle on the ground. However, the martial eagle utilizes its wingspan of over 2 meters to concentrate its center of gravity, forming a perfect cage to maintain the posture of pressing down on the target. The massive gripping force from the martial eagle's talons continuously creates pressure on the warthog's body. Even though the victim kicks its legs violently to struggle, the bird of prey's biological weapon does not loosen at all. The predator has won completely. The meal is secured right on the harsh ground. In the natural world, just a moment of negligence is enough to decide life and death. What you have just watched shows that predatory reptiles are terrifying, not only because of their venom-constricting force or powerful jaws, but also because of their ability to wait and strike at the right moment. Every hunt is a tense battle of wits where the attacker must calculate with precision while the prey is forced to seize every tiny opportunity to reclaim its life. If you found this video fascinating, leave a comment, share, and subscribe to the channel to continue discovering more dramatic confrontations in the wild. Thank you for watching until the end. See you again on the next journeys through the world of wildlife.